Hey everybody, welcome on AM 1230 WJOB and 104.7. Also, welcome on Facebook Live and for the 3 people in California that want to listen to this. Also, welcome to you on the TuneIn app. So we're going to be doing something quite a bit different here in the 9 o'clock hour on WJOB AM and FM, and also on our Facebook Live feed, and also for the studio audience that is here today for 1 million cups. And just by way of introduction, we are here in the Purdue Northwest Commercialization Center. You guys all well know that WJOB Studios is here in the center. It's a perfect public-private project that has gone on, and we're just furthering it along as we are bringing new and exciting products and services to the Commercialization Center. A number of us, I see faces all around, have been going to this for several months, and now we're going to bring it to you folks out on the radio and out in video land on Facebook Live. So Mont Handley is the executive director of the Purdue Northwest Commercialization Center, and what we're going to do is he's going to make a couple of announcements and maybe make a comment about us taking it on to Facebook Live and onto the radio. And then we have a very exciting presenter, and Mont is going to make that introduction, and we'll go right into it from Mont into Robin. But I also want to mention that we're going to go by the rules of the Kauffman Foundation, which might shorten this up a little bit from some of the previous projects that we've seen here. We've gone as long as an hour on some of them. We'll keep it under about 25 minutes total. So, all right, guys, I want everyone here, since it is like Bozo Circus and we have a live audience here, everybody's got to give a really big hand for Mont Handley and all he's done here.
Thanks for the new job title, Jim. I'm actually the associate director, but I will definitely take the promotion. Thank you. Everyone, welcome to 1 Million Cups Hammond chapter. We are in summer hours right now, so it's the first and third Wednesdays. So you're welcome to go to the beach and have a cup of coffee on the second, fourth, and sometimes fifth Wednesday of every month. I want to make a few announcements for a couple of the people who are regular members and some new faces as well. Planting Possibilities. One of our members who is always here, Ruth, thank you for giving me this postcard. They're having a spring plant sale, and if you're not familiar with Planting Possibilities, it's a great organization. It's helping teach adults with autism skills in the horticulture industry, which I think is phenomenal. So the sale is going to be happening at Sarkey's Florist from 8 to 2 this coming Saturday. And the address is 8944 Erie Street in Highland from 8 to 2. Some of the best tomatoes I've ever grown from last year. Fantastic. I'll make a little announcement for one of our programs, something you might be hearing on the radio. It's the SBIR workshop we're hosting on June 13th. This is a program that I utilize to get pit moss off the ground. I highly recommend you become familiar with this program. The federal government gives away $2.6 billion every year. So if you don't apply, someone else is going to get your money. You should apply. If you've got a company, you've got an innovative idea, apply. At least look at the website and find out if there's any possibility. We'll have one of the best SBIR consultants in the country here on June 13th. So you can ask them questions about your project and see if this is a good fit for you. I see actually a couple new faces. I want to introduce Jose Dela Cruz. Jose just graduated from Purdue University through the Mechanical Engineering Technology program. Has an incredible senior project he presented just a few weeks ago. He's actually going to meet with our patent attorney at IPLA, Intellectual Property Legal Aid, that meets later today as well. And then also I want to introduce Vivi Lamb, who and her husband are starting a company, have started a company. They're already making this stuff and distributing it locally at Howard & Sons in Munster, is the local store. Spaghetti, a local produced spaghetti sauce with no corn syrup, which I love. Why do you put corn syrup in spaghetti sauce? I don't get it. All right, I want to introduce Robin Bisseker. Robin actually is the 2016 winner of the Big Sell, the last one that took place at the Big Radisson with 500 people in attendance. I don't know how you did that. But I'm sure this is nothing to you instead of presenting to a live crowd of 500 people. Robin manufactures a product called the Pool Python. He's originally not from here, but I'll leave that to him in his presentation. But he lives in Valpo now, spent some time at Opportunity Enterprises, another great organization. And Robin, take it away.
Thank you, Mount. So the presentation is very short. It's a little bit stiff because it's the same one that I gave last year for the win. So let's get right into it. My name is Robin, and although it may not sound like it, I'm from Valparaiso in Indiana. I'm also a graduate of Purdue Northwest. This is the Pool Python. It's an automatic pool skimmer, and it's unique because of the design that it uses the free energy to operate. There's approximately 15 million pools in the US, and they all have something in common. It's an intake, a filter, and a discharge. The Pool Python simply connects to this discharge and uses this free energy to operate. The mounting elbow attaches to the return, the water coming back to the pool. The water flows through the adjustable support hose, through a nozzle on this end, spraying a jet of water through the chamber into the net which collects the debris. For those who are watching and not on the radio, you will see in the video that the Pool Python replaces the built-in skimmer if it's broken or being used by another skimmer or another cleaning device. Typically, when used as an additional skimmer, it completely outperforms the wall or the built-in skimmer. If you consider the efficiency of a leaf blower versus a leaf vacuum, a leaf blower is much more efficient in moving material than a leaf vacuum is. Unlike a normal skimmer, it cannot clog, and because it catches the debris before it enters the filter, it saves the filter and the pump. You use less chemicals as the organic matter is easily removed without it being trapped in the filter system. It does not interfere in any way with the existing system and works whenever the pump is running. It's also very safe. Unlike a wall skimmer, there's no danger of suction to cause injury to a child's hand, for example. Another safety feature is the breakaway hose. Because the contaminated water does not pass through a pump but is pushed directly into a collection system, I believe there are opportunities for other applications. These might include oil spills and even harvesting of protein-rich duckweed, which is used in aquaculture as animal feed and as an organic fertilizer. Up to now, the project's been completely self-funded, and some have said, build it and they will come. In my case, marketing expertise is somewhat lacking, and I'm not getting the exposure I had hoped, even though I've shipped to countries around the world. The feedback I have received has been fantastic with almost no returns. And so therefore, I'm very grateful to WJOB, Purdue Northwest, and 1 Million Cups. And I hope that this exposure and your support will allow me to move forward and get the production the heck out of my basement. In its current form and as a first step, I intend to use the excellent assembly services offered by local organizations that employ adults with disabilities. So really to elaborate a little bit on what I said, for example, what it does is that it cleans the surface so you don't have to. One of the biggest problems with the pool is maintenance. And one of the biggest complaints is that net on the pole of skimming the surface of the pool. Typically, the built-in skimmer is not very efficient. And my comparison between a leaf blower and a leaf vacuum applies to the Pool Python, in that using the pressure in a system like I have, it draws a lot more water in than what the pump is pushing out. So in a very simple experiment that I did, using a big plastic bag connected to the return on the wall, and then comparing it to that big bag attached to the end of my Pool Python, there was almost twice as much water in that bag than what was drawn in by the pump, which indicates, therefore, that the cleaning is nearly twice as efficient as the vacuum side, the vacuum of the wall skimmer. It's really easy to install. All the pools have a standard fitting. 99% of them do. There's a few quirky ones, an individual manufacturer, they, to their own advantage, made their own unique fittings, so no standard fitting or piece of equipment can plug into that. So the installation is very easy. The market in the US, there are about 15 million pools in the US, above ground and in ground. worldwide, those connections are the same. So the potential market really is worldwide, as has been proven by being able to ship to Australia, to New Zealand. I've shipped to South Africa, Argentina, Chile. Also that it's very safe. There's scary stories of people or children being injured by the vacuum side of pool pumps. So this is completely safe in that there's just a jet of water. There's no danger that is created by my device at all. Also, the hose is a breakaway hose. So if a child lands on it, there's no chance of injury because the hose will just break away. And then it's easily fitted back together again. The biggest challenges, as I said, is really the marketing. I thought, well, build a website, easy, people will find it, and I'll be able to sell online. My intention is to stick with online marketing. To deal with distribution in selling to pool stores is great. Local is fine, and it's manageable. But once you're starting to deal with, on the scale that I'm at, dealing with stores in other cities, other states, then it really gets difficult as far as distribution, debt collection, education of the sales staff, returns, and all the other issues. So my plan is really to try and concentrate on online selling because it's easily boxed up, shipped out, simple instructions, simple installation, and there you go. So really that's really my product. So short and sweet. If anyone has any questions.
Yes, and we always do have questions, and I think what we're just going to do, since we have the camera set up here, if you have a question, if you could just come up here, right here, so you'd be on the camera, and you could get it straight to Robin. Let's give him a hand. He did a great job. Robin, I'm going to lead it off here. Let's get a little bit more down to the cost, how much the units cost, and around how much they want to make, or is how much you want to tell us about the numbers side of this.
Yes, the materials are all locally purchased, so the materials are all US bought, which it's a little more expensive than buying from China, for example. So the retail, we're selling for $65 and $69. And shipping is about $14.50, I think it is shipping.
So you're talking, say you sell one at $69 and you get $14 of shipping, and it's about $83 all in.
Correct. Yes.
And any estimation on what financial impact to the end user? In other words, how much money would they be saving, or how much? What can they look at as a return on this?
Really, your time is number one. You don't have to skim the surface of your pool yourself. Some people in the frozen states have problems with their skimmer box in built-in pools breaking down and breaking and cracking. So I have a number of customers who've actually done away with their wall skimmer and using my device as a replacement and just making do with the floor drain. Also, chemical saving. If you think of the material gets sucked into the filter through your typical floor drain or through your wall skimmer, that material gets trapped in the basket or goes through to the filter, medium, whatever it might be, and then it sits there. That needs then chemicals to prevent it from breaking down and turning your pool green. So by being able to just throw it into the bag and easily pop the bag off and put it back on again, you are saving chemicals because you're not using as many chemicals. And also to clean your filter, the only way to clean it is to backwash it. So you're saving water but not having to backwash as often also.
For those of you listening on the radio right now, this is Robin Bisseker. He's out of Valparaiso, and he has his pool python. And I just have to describe it just a little bit more for those on the radio. Basically, he hooks into the natural flow of the water in the pool, and it comes into a chamber, whatever debris there is. And then there's a little nylon bag that's hanging off the side. That's where the debris goes until somebody comes by and picks it up and empties the bag, basically, right? So you're not using, basically, it's an auxiliary filtering system to the pool's natural filtering system. All right, one other question before I open it up to the audience. We host a show here from 1 to 2 every day. It's called Business Rock Stars. They do it out of L.A., and they always ask this question. What inspired you to get to this point?
I was cleaning gutters, and I was using the hose pipe method, which really consists of taking a hose pipe, you fill up the gutter backwards, you back all the water up with the leaves, and you take quick few steps on the other side of where the water's backed up, and then you use that hose pipe to squirt the leaves down towards the gutter, and you clean the gutter that way. And I thought, well, if I'm doing this using the hose pipe, using pressure to clean a gutter, why can't I use it to do one of my other tasks, which was cleaning the pool? So my first experiment my first test was a section of gutter which I'd suction cupped to the side of the pool and attached that to the return, and I found that worked very well, and it developed from there.
Wow. I'm fairly certain in the history of scientific developments, no one's ever thought of it while cleaning the gutter. So we have history here. Hey, once again, I'm Jim Delo, and this is basically a Jed and the Money segment here. You guys listening on AM 1230 and 104.7 FM. In the future, you'll be able to call in and ask questions directly. But today, we're just going to take them from the audience. Everybody's invited to come out to these. It's the first and third Wednesdays, and that'll be right here in the WJOB studios. There's a bunch of people packed in here, just like Bozo Circus, and we're going to open up the floor to some folks that want to come up. And typically, we ask some pretty deep questions. If Robin doesn't want to answer them, he will just decline. All right, who's first? Who wants to walk on up? Ken Gonzalez is going to go first.
Good presentation, second time too. But what is it that you've done for your marketing? Can you give us like an outline? You say you need help there, but what have you tried? Maybe what experiences did you have from those tries, and what do you want to do different maybe as you go forward?
Yes, I think there are so many people that are more skilled at me with website development and online skills. So I'm at an age possibly where the sweet spot of computer education, I've kind of just missed that a little bit. So currently, I had a website done by myself and a friend that went to paying somebody more professional to do a better website. But as far as getting the feedback and the search engine optimization, that is where I'm failing because each time I have to pay an independent person to help me. So that is one of the problems. And then also even Facebook and Instagram marketing. It's a younger generational thing, unfortunately, I think. So I'm lacking there. So
there's a number of them here, so watch what you say, okay?
Number of them was success.
But that is where that is the frustration in that just don't have that knowledge to be able to really capitalize on what other companies and people are doing for their products and services.
Anybody else with a question? We'd like to hear from you guys. Debbie Wargo is going to ask a question. Once again, you're listening on AM 1230 WJOB and 104.7. This is Robin Bisseker, and he has the Pool Python, and he's just looking to get the word out right now. Debbie, go ahead.
Great presentation. My question is, do you have also a bigger model in mind? And would you think about maybe going to hotel chains to get into like a bigger market? I noticed the bag is a little small. I mean, do you understand? I know you're still trying to market this model, but I'm looking at the big picture and maybe getting into, a bigger chain of like the hotel chain.
Yes. Look, most hotels with a swimming pool, they are dealing with a lot of cleaning. They've got kids in there and more kids and lots of things that need cleaning out of pools. So a hotel really should have a pretty jacked up filtration system. So I don't know if a bigger device would really work well unless it was maybe a little hotel that was run down a little bit. And also the difficulty is that kids in a hotel swimming pool are very often not really well supervised. So first thing they're going to gravitate towards would be something like this that they start messing with. So that is something that I wouldn't really like to get into really at this point, I don't think. But an opportunity which I really would like to explore is using the principle of pressure to skim in other applications, particularly oil cleanup, and as I said earlier in my presentation, duckweed. If those who might know what duckweed is, it's a very small single cell organ, little plant that grows on the surface of ponds and water bodies. It's very rich in protein. Other countries are using it for animal feed. It's used in aquaculture extensively and also can be harvested for fertilizer, organic fertilizer for your garden. So those are two applications that I'd like to investigate in upsizing it. The oil disasters, all of those, any oil skimming device that you see, they're all based on suction. And all that suction would need to be come in and get trapped, or come in, go through a pump, and then get filtered. So to use a pressure similar to what I've got here, it would reduce emulsification of the water and oil because there's not so much violent activity. And so therefore, theoretically, it should be much easier to separate the two.
And anybody else have any questions? I know Mont Hanley does. And once again, this is for those on the radio. This is Robin Bisseker, and his product is the Pool Python, and the website exactly is thepoolpython.com.
Correct.
There it is. Associate Director of the Purdue Northwest Commercialization Center, Mont Hanley, and excuse me.
I just know the executive director. I think he'd take issue with that. Robin, want to talk a little bit about the manufacturing and also about what potential investments you might be looking for?
Yes.
Sorry. So how many of these can you make in a day?
Probably about 25 on my own.
Okay. And how many do you need to make in order to get yourself a salary and make some profit and maybe get a nice
about
beach
25
house
a day.
25 a day?
Sure.
You can make a salary on making 25 a day.
Sure. Remember, I worked for a non-for-profit for a number of years.
All right. That makes sense. Now, if you wanted to eat something other than ramen noodle, how many would you like to make in a day? Idealistically, I mean, would you like to make,
Sure. Look,
100 a day?
Absolutely. I mean, as one would scale a business, there's never really an end to one's desires for production or for sales. So to scale from our basement, to hire a few people to help, to use the services of these organizations that I mentioned. Most of the work is simple assembly work, and really to scale it up would be very easy. So whether I'm making 10 a day or 100 a day, the steps are still the same and the principle is the same. That is for a small business. Once you get into a higher volume, higher sales, then things would obviously change, because now we would be talking about investing in molding and injection molding and high-speed production.
Sure.
And to cut the cost of labor. Right now, it's really scaling up, using local resources to reach a point without needing to apply for a bank loan or something else to expand. So once I have enough money in the bank and have enough sales to justify an investment in molding, for example, and high-speed manufacturing, that hopefully would be my investment and not the bank's investment.
Sure. Would you be interested in an investor coming in and taking a portion of the equity, or do you want to hold on to this 100%?
I'm open to any suggestions. Certainly I am, yes.
Okay. Very good. All right. Anybody?
I'm going to follow up on that. We're in a manufacturing area, and we're in the Manufacturing Excellence Center.
Yes.
So let's just say on a whim, some manufacturing, and there's a number of people who manufacture in plastics around here, and we think of steel and big things and rail cars and stuff, but there's a lot of smaller mini mills that could possibly do this. Yes. What would be the ideal arrangement with that manufacturer, to kind of follow up on Mont's comments there?
To support my weakness, which really is the marketing, the manufacturing as currently as I can manage. If someone were to propose a more improved manufacturing based on my design, I'd be open to any negotiation. Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Anybody have any questions? No more? Come on. You know what? We go on the camera and we go on the radio. All of a sudden, everybody gets quiet. So, I think that might just, I do have one follow-up question here. And this is, I guess, for all the entrepreneurs are here, and I think just about everybody here is one of those. So you had some pretty good momentum going into and coming out of the big sell last year. And you expressed in your opening statement or your opening presentation that it hasn't really moved out, and perhaps the momentum hasn't gone as fast as you would have hoped for. Can you address that? How important momentum is, and how you can take advantage of opportunities as they come?
Difficult question to answer. For me, I wish it was going better. It's doing okay. It's seasonal, so the wintertime was pretty much of a slump. So as an entrepreneur or somebody with an idea, you would appreciate you get huge peaks and valleys. So winning the competition last year really was a tremendous boost. Unfortunately, there was no video or any information that I could really use from that competition to be able to further the marketing efforts of mine. But so really, it's to keep banging on doors, keep yourself motivated, and meet people, and get feedback from your customers is the key. So the reason why, to explain really maybe why mine hasn't taken off like a gun, is that I'm lacking the skills on the marketing side. And if we can get more exposure online, I believe that it would be a tremendous boost. As I said, the feedback from our customers really has been tremendous. The comments have been so favorable, and one of the problems or identifiers of a product that's not doing so well would be the returns. Okay, I don't like it, so I'm going to send it back. Last year I had one return. This year I've had no returns as yet. So.
Wow, that's an amazing story that Robin Bisseker and the Pool Python has going on. I think I have time for one more question, and that'll be Lori Felt. Lori, I knew that it would open that up a little bit. Take it away, Lori.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Lori.
Looking at the pictures on a hot day, it makes me want to go swimming for sure. Have you thought about pool supply distributors or looking more broadly at the industry, maybe establishing a licensing relationship with a manufacturer?
So you talk about a wholesaler, perhaps, a pool product wholesaler.
Exactly.
So the profit margin that my market, I'm looking at two similar products. One is a really economical one for about $30, and with respect to that product, not terribly efficient. There's another one for about $120, $130, which is a very respectable product. I would say mine works better. So my pricing really should be in between those two. So I'm pretty much on the mark at about $70, $75, $80. In order to distribute to pool stores through a wholesaler, there's just more links in the chain. I believe that there is enough opportunity to sell direct online without the middleman who'd obviously require a percentage of the little pie that there is. If I'm manufacturing locally here, there's a cost of labor which would be higher than if I had a million made overseas, for example. So I'm hoping to be able to stick with my current small business structure of locally made, locally marketed, and be able to distribute countrywide and worldwide, but without having to go through the typical supply chain of manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, because of the complications of all of that.
The challenge, of course, is, and you've kind of identified it, customer acquisition when you're selling direct to the consumer is really challenging.
Yes.
Other question, intellectual property patent situation on this device?
I have a patent number on it, yes.
Yeah, so I think that ought to do it as perfect length of time. I think we do have. Debbie wants one more question.
It's not a question, actually. On behalf of 1 Million Cups, I want to thank the Coffee Cabin for caffeinating us today, and also Nana's Sweets and Bakery. She brought us the delicious snacks every week. And if you are watching on Facebook Live or on the radio, you can, and you want to do a presentation, you can email Mont at handleym@pnw.edu. So feel free to sign up and come and present to us.
There you go. And you know what? Let's give everybody a hand right now. There's been a lot of Debbie and Mont work together on putting this, along with Ken and some others. You guys do a great job. I'm just kind of the big mouth that comes in and talks. Robin, any final comments?
Yes, I'd like to give one away free. So if...
we're going to give one away free. Let's do it here live on the line.
So shall we do that on Facebook?
We could do it. Mont is the giveaway guy. We could do it right now. Let's do it. You know what? All these people came out. Is that okay? We'll do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they all came out. So what we'll do is Mont and I play a bumper music here, and we're going to gather over here, and we're going to come up with, oh, no, can't play bumper music or Facebook will take it down. Sorry, I forgot about that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have about 10 seconds of dead air. I'm pretty good at that, and I'll be right back. Okay,
yes.
we're going to do a number. All right, you got a number in your head? Hold on a second. You know what? He's from Crown Point, and he's got his own company. He went on Shark Tank and everything, but I still don't trust him entirely. So can you write that down and give that to Ken Gonzalez? Yeah, there it is. You tell it to. Oh, you're going to tell it to Anthony Spangler. That does not give me the warm and fuzzy. All right, these two guys know the number, and we're going to go between what? One in was it between 1 and 50? 1 and 100. All right, closest two. Let's just go around the room right now and. All right, here you go. Debbie, go first. 74. 68. 48. 40.
50. 13. 26. 87.
Nobody's got it yet. That was 87. 5. Is that it? It's not 5. All right, go. Lori? 17. Let's keep going. 94. 72. 1. 77. 32. Anybody else? Ryan with 29. 7. All right, nobody's guessed it yet, right? Okay.
Closest will be good.
Closest that hasn't gone over.
Yeah.
All right.
Sarah.
Oh, way to go. Saren DeSaris, there you go. And
It was 11.
it was 11.
Percentage of.
Well, hold on. Remember, when there's no talking out there, you got to say it always into the microphone now. There's no more talking from the floor. There you go.
I selected 11 because that's the percent that you owe him for being on the radio show this morning. For all the pool pythons you sell.
There you go. Hey, listen, this is Robin has really done a great job. He's out of Valparaiso. Any folks that are listening or catch this on Facebook Live and you think you can help him in terms of the manufacturing and or in terms of the marketing, we do it as a team approach here. Mont brings everybody together under one roof, and sometimes you just hear that one thing, that person driving around. Anybody that wants to give you a hand or give you a call or wants to order one or anything like that or contact you directly, how do they do that, Robin?
I've got a website, www.poolpython.com, or my phone number.
Sure, if you want.
219-916-0995, or you could look up the Pool Python on Facebook.
There you go. Anything else, Mike? You want to finish it up here? And Ken wants to say something? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Ken, right here.
No, the effectiveness of the Facebook Live. You got feedback already.
Wonderful.
I will let my family know about the idea. They own F&M Pool Services, and then they leave their telephone number.
Wonderful.
So be sure to go out to the website and get your lead.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
I think that's Mark
Excellent.
Mosqueda. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys, that'll do it. You want to get a hold of the Pool Python? Go ahead. Don't forget, we're going to be here first and third Wednesdays throughout the summer, and then we'll probably expand it back to fall and winter hours. But so the next one would be June 7th. So June 7th in these studios. Everybody here is welcome, of course, and anybody else is welcome until we get to the point where we can't fit everybody in here. We figure we can get maybe about double what we have right now. But I want to thank each and every. I see a lot of common faces that come to this thing. This is how this built. This is how we build an entrepreneurial community right here along Silicon Boulevard. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. One last comment for Robin. All right, that's going to call. All right, guys, let's call it a day on Facebook Live in 3, 2, 1. Thanks a lot for watching.